Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Atlanta REALTORS Rundown, the official podcast of the Atlanta REALTORS Association. If you have not followed, liked, or subscribed to us on any of your podcast platforms of choice, please be sure to do so you won't miss an upcoming episode. I'm Andy Payne. I'm one of the podcast hosts and the chairman of the committee. And today we are with Courtney Benjamin. Courtney is the recipient 2025 of one of the National Association of Realtors 30 under 30. So I wanted to have her on and we can discuss how all that happened and find out a little bit more about her and what the future holds. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here and talk with you.
Awesome. So let's start from the beginning. How did you get into real estate? What's your kind of your life path so far?
Yeah, so I sort of fell into real estate, as I think a lot of people kind of end up doing. I actually moved to Atlanta originally for voiceover work. So finally I'm on a podcast. I feel like I've made it. But I was working as an assistant for a realtor, was connected with them through my cousin, and very quickly realized that I really enjoyed real estate. I was having a lot of fun learning about the industry, and decided to just sort of dive in and get my license.
Okay. So when you say assistant, what were you doing?
So I was an administrative assistant, and it was a really interesting role, having no background at all in real estate. So I was kind of learning on the go, but I was kind of helping with coordinating contracts and meeting clients and keeping organized and helping prepare some of the documents and buyer books and things like that.
And was she, or I assume she, sorry.
He.
It was a he, okay.
Yeah.
So was he a super successful guy, tons of transactions, and you're just like, I want to get into this?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I heard him on the phone, and I was like, oh man, I want to be in that negotiation, and it was just sounded exciting and fun, and I saw him, out in the field. We would go to caravans every Tuesday, and it was just wasn't a career that was sort of on my radar until it was. And I was like, man, I want to go do that.
Yeah. So how long did you do that? How long were you an assistant?
I was only there for about 3.5 months.
Okay.
And I was more excited to be an agent, I think, than I was to kind of be on the sidelines. I wanted to be really up in the action, and there's only so much you can do if you're not licensed. Right. So I couldn't go, show homes by myself. I didn't have access to the lock boxes and the actual contracts. You have to be licensed to work on them. So I was very quickly excited to kind of jump in and do that.
So did you stay with him as like a team or like a junior person?
I stayed with the brokerage, so we were kind of in the same circle, but I actually joined a larger team shortly after getting licensed.
Okay.
They had really great training opportunities and a lot of mentorship and masterminds, things like that. So it was a good fit for starting out.
That's useful, for
yeah,
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a big database here. I had moved here from Florida shortly before that. So, having someone help you with lead generation and training and all of that was really helpful to kind of get off the ground in the industry.
So then you jumped in, you became an agent, and then you pretty quickly started doing pretty good, right? I mean, not necessarily rookie of the year, but you found success fairly quickly, right?
It feels quick looking back. I think when I was in the middle of it, I was like, okay, like how do I get in here? Like, how do I get started? I could count the people I knew in Atlanta on one hand. So it's, there weren't a ton of people to reach out to. They say, reach out to all of your contacts. Right. And it was like 30 minutes later, I was like, check, done, good.
Yeah.
So I was, just working as hard as I could to meet as many people as I could. One, because I'm social and I wanted to meet people, but also just trying to build my database and shadowing people and, going to caravans every Tuesday and taking as many classes and joining masterminds and anything I could to really, dive into it.
Yeah. So did you join the Realtor Association? Did you join, was ARA your first and only? It's been my first and only.
My one and only.
Yeah.
Yep. I took my real estate pre-licensing course here in this building. So I just kind of naturally wanted to join and heard about all of the great resources during that class and met a lot of amazing people in the building coming in every day. I did the in-person training. So I was here in this building for a lot of hours, a lot of days.
Sure. So how did you get more involved? What was your next step into being involved with the association?
So we met in the emerging leaders class,
Yeah.
and prior to that, I would come to some of the classes here. I had been to a few of the events, the Chili Cook-Off, the ARA Top Producers Gala, and it wasn't until I was in that program that I really learned all of the different facets of the organization and got really excited and joined one of the committees and started, helping with the Chili Cook-Off booth and different events. We planned a sound bath, just kind of got more involved and met more and more people at the organization. And I think the more you start getting involved, the more stuff you hear about and kind of get pulled into all of it. And it's really fun once you're kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah. So it's always a chili cook-off.
Yeah.
It's always a chili cook-off, right? That's always like how you.
I mean, who doesn't love a chili cook-off?
I know, right? It's so fun. That's one of the things I got drug into early on. I was like, I know how to make chili. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So
I know how to taste chili. I'm very good at that.
All right. Cool. So let's talk about NAR. So you have been named one of the 30 under 30 for the entire country for the National Association of Realtors.
Yep.
Tell me, how did you find out about the opportunity? What was the process?
Yeah, so the first team that I joined, where I got a lot of my training and kind of got started, one of my mentors there was on the 30 under 30 list.
Okay.
And it was so just unattainable in my mind. Like I said, I was just starting out. I knew no one here. I was not super successful right in the beginning. So it was kind of in the back of my head is like, how cool would that be? But it was kind of like, the idea of being like, being in Hollywood would be cool. Like it wasn't something I actually made a true goal of mine. And as I just kind of put my head down and did the work and eventually started my own team, and I was talking to my business partner very shortly after we moved into our office, we got all set up and it felt really exciting. And I said, I kind of want to apply for the 30 under 30 list.
Okay.
And she was like, you should do it. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, it feels really unattainable still. And she's like, well, they're going to pick someone and, you're doing great things. You might as well put yourself out there. So I applied and I made it to the top 50 finalists.
Okay.
And while I didn't get it that year, it was really exciting because I was like, okay, like top 50, like we're in the running here.
Absolutely.
So kept going and doing what I was doing and helping as many people as I could, and applied again the next year. And I am turning 30 next month. So as we were saying, just on the verge of my expiration date here. So I squeaked in there, but it was really exciting.
So did you have to fly and do some kind of talent show, or Simon Cowell's looking at you sideways, or was it like a Zoom, just Zooms and things like that, or how was the process?
So it's an online application process. It's very extensive, a lot of short answer questions. My background is actually in creative writing from school, so I was like loving the application process, probably one of the few. But it's a very long application. They give you pretty much the course of a year to fill it out, and an optional YouTube video where you kind of introduce yourself and kind of just talk about who you are and what you do, what your niche is, things like that. And from there, they just kind of start narrowing it down. They ask for some paperwork to ensure that you are who you say you are in your 20s. And
are there minimum production requirements or anything like that? Or
so there's not any requirement. Of course, they do take everything into account: your production, your community outreach, your involvement with the association, things like that. But there's no, true requirement for it.
Gotcha. So, how do they let you know? Did you get a call? Did you get a text?
So it's an email, but I was actually in the car visiting my family, and I was in the car with both my parents, and I hadn't seen my email yet. It had just come through a couple minutes earlier. And I think it was actually Michael Fisher, one of the ARA past presidents, called me and said, congratulations. And I was like,
for what?
Thank you. What did I do? I had no idea. And he was like, you're on the 30 under 30 list. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was, that was how I found out. And I was with my parents and we were celebrating. We went to dinner and it was exciting because they were there with me, from afar. But for all of the late night stress calls and the, I don't know if I could do this, and the, celebrations along the way. So it was exciting to be with them when I found out.
So what does that mean for you, like in the next year, or as somebody who's got this designation, this achievement? What is that? Are there duties or responsibilities? You got to go on a tour, or what's it mean for you?
So no like requirements necessarily, but a lot of really awesome opportunities.
Yeah.
We have some social media groups that we've connected on since we are all over the country, and met someone who went to my college around the same
cool.
time I did, which was really cool, and got to talk with a lot of these people. They're so interesting and so successful, and I kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome, like looking left and right, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, these people are amazing. Mm-hmm. And we have a conference coming up in September in Chicago for anyone who's ever been honored as one of the 30 under 30. So I'll meet not only the people on the 2025 list, but also anyone who's ever been honored has the opportunity to come. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And then what would your advice be to somebody who wants to try to do this, or who feels like, oh, maybe,
Yeah, I would say go for it. I mean, there's no harm in applying. Apply every single year. And even if you don't get it, I mean, it's great encouragement. It's great ideas, because a lot of the questions are, hey, what are you doing in your community to volunteer? And I'm like, well, I'm doing this and this, but I could be doing more. And it's really good just encouragement to do the best that you can and get as involved as you can. And you never know, because you might get it.
Yeah, I feel like, we're such a part of the communities that we live and serve in. And so the fact that you've got this recognition for things you've done, but yeah, the idea of you can always do more. Same thing in the association, right? Now hopefully you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to be chair of young producers. I'm going to be chair of RPAC, and keep leaning in and giving more to the association as well. Are you involved in GAR at all, the Georgia Association, or?
So I haven't gotten involved as much as I want to. It's one of those things that it's always you want to do more and want to, balance serving your clients, serving the different associations, and leaning in and giving everything kind of 100%. But it is on my 2025 to 2026 bucket list kind of goals to get more involved with GAR and with National Association.
Well, you're going to find out. People are going to be like, hey, listen, right? What do you think about helping us with this? What do you think about helping us with that? But you do have to balance your charity work. You have to balance your community involvement. You have to balance your association involvement with being a producing realtor, right? So you said that you started a team. So I know you started on a team. How did you come to the decision? Because I know a lot of people are really curious right now about teams, because it seems like the solopreneur route can be difficult, can be challenging, especially if you really want to succeed and have a life. Talk to me about how you transitioned off a team, how you decided that you wanted to create your own team. I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say it was one of the best decisions I think I made for my career and my lifestyle. I kind of had transitioned into some leadership roles on the team I was on previously. I was leading kind of small group masterminds. We had like little pods that we were kind of working with. I was training, doing some of the classes. Bringing in most of my own leads. And I kind of felt like, okay, I feel like I can really stand on my own at this point. And I was loving the mentorship aspect of it, being on the other side of it.
That you can help other people.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was really getting a lot of just joy out of it, honestly. So I spoke with one of my best friends who I met through real estate who was on that team. And we were like, should we just dive in and start our own team, and that way we can shape it to be exactly what we want. We can have our own branding and marketing. We can eventually train other agents and give people opportunities that we were given as well when we got started. So I'm more of a planner, and I was like, okay, let's do this, and then we'll do this. And she was like, let's go. And she grabbed my hand and we jumped, and thank goodness the parachute opened. And it's been great.
And so it's just the two of you, or does it?
So we just
what's your structure?
Yeah, so we just added one other agent onto our team. It was someone that I had mentored previously who reached out about joining. And we also have a transaction coordinator who's amazing. I don't know what we would do without having someone that's in front of a computer because, as you know, we're always in our mobile office. We're in a listing presentation. We're showing buyers, and you can only be in one place at a time.
Right.
Would love for someone to figure out how to fix that issue. But I think being on a team is kind of the next best way to be in different places at once. You know, if am driving down the highway and someone has an urgent contract need, I can call up Georgia or Angie or our transaction team and say, hey, are you by a computer? Can you hop on and take care of this? Yeah. If I'm, traveling and someone has a house they want to see, which feels like Murphy's Law, it always happens.
Always, that's the best way. Best way to get business is plan a vacation.
Exactly. So there's 2 people, boots on the ground, that can hop in, and I can know that, balancing, being at an ARA event or being, with family, things like that, that my clients are never going to kind of have to wait on me.
Mm-hmm. So do you have those clients, because I've heard this a lot, do you have those clients that are like, no, only you. I only want to talk to you. I only want you to show my referral a house. How do you balance that tension?
Once in a while, I think because of how we kind of introduce the team on the front end during our buyer and listing consultations, we do have a buyer book or a listing presentation with all of our headshots, all of our bios, kind of explaining we all have years of experience in the real estate industry. We all, use the same systems, work together, and I do handle pretty much all of the negotiations, all of the contracts. So if, someone's helping with a showing or helping with something small, I am still your realtor. We will always be working together. You can always reach out to me, but this is an added benefit that you not only get me, but you also get a full team behind you.
I like that.
Working for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what's the future hold? With the association, with your career, like what's your next thing that you're excited about, I guess would be a good way to say it.
Yeah, so as far as the association, I would love to get more involved, to potentially at some point be the chair of a committee. Oh gosh, I put it out there now. I'm getting
Chris
calls
and
emails. Yeah. So definitely that. I have really loved having another person on the team who I have been able to mentor, who came from more of an admin side of things, and being able to watch her growth and her success and how excited she is. She's brought in her first few transactions.
Oh, cool.
And just seeing, kind of the passion, the light there. And we've planned a few kind of team retreats and workshops. So I'm really enjoying that side of things. I have no plans to get out of production. I really love working with my clients and kind of just, being a part of their life journey, but would love, at some point to continue to grow the team a bit. Not mega team status, but, just a handful of us, and be able to mentor and help other agents kind of as I was able to get started. Yeah.
So, hard question. What's your favorite restaurant in Atlanta right now? You knew this.
That is the hardest question.
I told you it was coming.
And I was thinking about it the whole drive here. I was like, oh man, can I give a few?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, what part of town do you live in? What part do you work in? I guess would be another good question.
Yeah. So I work pretty much where my car will take me.
Okay.
That being said, I live in town, kind of right on the border of Old Fourth Ward and Inman Park. Okay. I've moved 3 times in Atlanta, about a mile each time. So I love my area. But I love Del Bar. It's right down the street from me in Inman Park. Del Bar? It's Persian food.
Okay.
So it's just amazing flavors and spices, and they have great mocktails and cocktails, and the service is amazing, and the place is beautiful, and it's walking distance, which helps.
Plug for Del Bar.
Yes. Okay. I'm not sponsored, but I would think about it, Also love the Chastain, right by Chastain Park. Whenever my family visits, it's like their one request that we have to go to the Chastain. It's
like for brunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then lastly, I would say Le Bon Nosh in Buckhead. It's I go for the breakfast in the cafe. Their coffee is amazing, and I want the inside of my house to look like the inside of that restaurant.
Okay.
It's stunning, so definitely recommend that.
Yeah, cool. How can people reach you? How do you want to be communicated with? If some non-realtors are listening to this podcast, what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you and say, I really like that girl's personality. I'm going to let her sell my house. Right?
Well, thank you. I'd love to sell your house.
Yeah.
Feel free to call, text, email. I try to kind of use the communication that works best for each client. I've had people reach out on Facebook or Instagram or basically whatever works. Send me a carrier pigeon. I'm happy to answer it. Just might take me a little longer, but
yeah. Well, that's all we have today. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks a lot for being here. And if you're out there and you want to apply for 30 under 30 recognition, reach out to Courtney Benjamin, and she'll show you the ropes.
Yeah, absolutely happy to. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for listening to this episode of the Atlanta Realtors Rundown. Again, if you want to like, subscribe, or follow us on any of your podcast platform, that would be great. And if you want to find out more about the Atlanta Realtor Association, any of us would be happy to talk to you about that as well. Thank you so much.